All right. Yeah, we can stop the video. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this career section. My name is Yuting Zhao. I, she, her pronouns. I'm a rising junior major in JCD in CBS. Currently, I'm a senior global Gopher leader. And welcome. How are you, Gophers? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Please type in the chat like where you're from or where you're dressed from. I can go first. Currently, I'm on campus, so I would say Minneapolis, though I come from China. So feel free to type your answer in the chat box. Ooh, I see people from Philippines, India, Kenya, Brazil, Argentina, ooh, Malaysia. Wow, lots of people from all over the world. That's so exciting. Brazil, India, Iran, Nepal, China, Pakistan, India, wow, South Korea, Nigeria. Well, thank you so much for joining us from thousands of miles away or even another side of the earth. Kenya, yeah. So this session the topic is level up for career success. We will have the closed live caption as you can see here. You can open or close it by yourself. So we will have caption for this meeting. Also, we will record this session and put it to our website later on. So please mute yourself if somebody is talking. During the session, if you have any question, feel free to type your question in the chat box. Our Global Gopher leader will collect the question and go over them during the Q&A session. Okay, next slide, please. Thank you. So you can also find our previous recording through our website. You can find the link under the slide. Our Global Gopher leaders will also put the link to the chat. As you can see previously, we have several interesting topics, including how to find off-campus housing, or like healthcare, US health system sort of thing. In the following weeks, we will also have lots of fun and useful, interesting events and activities. Feel free to join us in the following weeks. All right, next slide. Thank you. Today, we are very honored to have Jane and Miftah from Career Service as our guest speaker. Welcome to talk about how to level up your career success. I will pass to Miftah and Jane to introduce themselves.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ray. So good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good everything, everybody. Welcome to the University of Minnesota, and congratulations that you are finally the part of Global Gopher. So yeah, my name is Miftah Rahardian Sidraman. I go by Miftah. I use him, his pronouns. Actually, I'm a graduate student at the University of Minnesota studying human resource development, but then I'm working on my internship program with UMN Career Services with Jane. So I had several experiences working as a training and development specialist, but then I'll be coming back home soon, and I'll be working as a training senior executive at Kanmo Group Indonesia. So I'll pass it over to Jane.
Thank you, Miftah, and hello, everyone. My name is Jane, and I am a staff member at University of Minnesota working in career services. My position focuses on our undergraduate international students' career development, but what we share here today will be relevant to all students who are curious about working on their career development. So let's get started. We can go to the next slide. So why are we talking about leveling up for our career development? Well, we're so excited that so many of you have joined us to come and talk about careers. Maybe you're really excited and enthusiastic about your career development. Maybe you're a bit nervous and you want some help. We're here to do all of those things. And we support that you are excited and want to learn more about how to develop your career while you're a student at University of Minnesota. So we want to ask you, what does a career mean to you? What are you thinking about? You might have many different possible plans for your career, such as gaining some experience in the US. Maybe you want to try being a student employee, get an internship or a job after graduation in the US, and we can support you toward that goal. But you also might want to gain some career experience in your home country. Maybe you want to do some internships or work experience during school breaks, or you know that you want to go to your home country after graduation. We can also help you prepare for that. You also might be curious or excited to try a career experience in a new country. There are so many places out there to explore, and we have a lot of events and resources throughout the year to help you think about taking your career to a new country. And finally, you also might know that you're interested in graduate or professional school. You might be doing your first degree and ready to do another degree after graduation, which could be in the US, your home country, another country. So we are also able to support you toward thinking about further studies. So keep thinking about that. And as you are considering, where your plans might take you, where on campus, where at the University of Minnesota should you go for career support? Could it be your academic advisor, your professor, ISSS, your career counselor, your friend, your parents? All of these could be really good options, but we want to encourage you to try to connect with your career counselor. And we can go to the next slide. Every student at the University of Minnesota has access to career services. Career services is located through your college. So you will find your career counselor. Each of the colleges has a team of career counselors. You will find them through your college, through these beautiful buildings you can see there. They're looking forward to meeting you and supporting you towards your career goals. And the next slide. So what does career services do? You can meet career counselors one-on-one and learn more about a lot of these resources. We have activities and guides to help you figure out what career might be a good option for you. We have resources, information, and online tools that are needed to secure internships and jobs. So connecting early to get to see those resources, information, and tools would be a great idea. We can also help you to explore majors and careers. Maybe you're trying to figure out, what can I do with this major? Or can this major help me connect to this job? We can also help you to identify your skills and strengths and practice talking about them or writing about them in resumes, cover letters, and in job interviews. We can do lots of practice interviews together. And finally, as we talked about, if you know you might be interested in graduate or professional school, we can help you to explore your options there and through the application process. And now I will pass it to Miftah.
Thank you, Jane. So what do I need to work on my career development? I know you're just about to start your academic year, but then we're talking about career development here. Like, what am I supposed to do? Well, actually, it's better for you to get prepared as soon as possible. I know you're just about to start your academic year, but then the earlier, the better. So you can also understand and know what career path and what professions or job you are willing to get when you graduate from the university. So I would say, well, there are actually many of them, but then I would like to specify and highlight 3 things for what you should work on your career development. The first one is knowledge, skills, and abilities. It's sometimes it is sad when you have the opportunities, but you don't have the knowledge, skills, and abilities. That's why these 3 things has to be something that you be aware of. Like, for example, there's an opportunity for me to be a teacher, but then I don't know how to teach, right? So it's related to skills. You have to own these 3 things as your basic or fundamental element before you develop your career life in the future. And then connections. Connection is also important. You can explore so many platforms or portals that can help you to grow your connections. And it's also beneficial for you to to build your career path in the future. For example, if you have a friend that is working at the A company, and then he knows the information that there's a job opening or job vacancy, even though it's not posted yet, you might know this information first from your friend. And also in terms of using social media like LinkedIn, we will talk about it later, but then you can also get recommendations from your friends when you have several friends that are working in very different companies. And experience, definitely. Experience is not only educational background, it's not only a professional background or full-time, part-time job. It also related to how you work on your organization experiences and then leadership experiences and some other related experiences that you can, you can brand yourself with that, because it's very important again to have experiences. Next, please. What should I do to impress the employers? Get a 4.8 GPA? Really? Be a leader in a group student? Get work experience as student employee? Dress in a fancy suit? Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga? No one knows. Have outstanding communication skills? Interesting, but we can check. So for the points that we're highlighting, so there are 3 actually. Be a leader in a student group. It's important. It doesn't have to be in a student group. You can go off-campus organizations, for example, a voluntary or NGO institutions that can help you to obtain this skill, I would say, because when you do a lot of organizational things, definitely you will have more, I would say, knowledge, and then your soft skills are going to be growing as well, because you meet a lot of people, you interact with so many people, and your relations or connections would be bigger. And then the second, get work experience as student employee. We have a lot of opportunities on campus, especially, but you can also find off-campus experiences if you want to. We have so many opportunities on campus. You can work in your department, faculty, library, Boynton Health, and something that is interesting to you. And then have outstanding communication skill. Again, it is the part of soft skill. When you are ready to apply for a job, your hard skill or technical skill is not the only thing you have to be aware of and prepare for, because when you apply for a job, you must have these two. You must have these two elements, soft skill and hard skill, and they both are inseparable. It has to be at one whole package that brand yourself. Well, we mentioned at the first point, get a 4.0 GPA. Well, GPA could be important, could be not. But then again, employers will never judge you for your GPA, like how much your GPA is. It's just a number, it doesn't represent your technical and soft skill, ability. Next, please. Yeah, I mentioned about working as a student. So at campus, we have so many opportunities. Like yesterday, I went to Boynton Health and I saw so many job opening opportunities there for you to work in a health clinic. So if you're interested, you might give it a try. We have office assistants, information technology, teaching assistants or research assistant, tutors, peer advisors, but again, these are not the only job opportunities that you can find on campus. We have so many other opportunities, like, for example, cashier, and then librarian helpers, or I would say like a mentor for a sports activity, and some other interesting jobs that can definitely help you improve your professional skills, soft skill and hard skill. So to share more opportunity, I'll be inviting my 2 friends, Wes and Sonali, to share their experiences working as a student on campus.
Hi, thank you, Miftah. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody here. My name is Viswesh Seshan, and I'm going into my 3rd year of engineering department here at the UMM. I'm an undergraduate student studying from Dubai, and I'm a Global Gopher ambassador leader. Today, I'm here to talk a little bit more about my experience with on-campus student employment. So for international undergraduate students, work opportunities generally will seem a little confusing, and I completely get that. I personally had a pretty hard time figuring out what positions I was qualified for and which ones I would need authorization for. When I first started looking for these positions, I realized that the ISSS actually has amazing resources that are available, and you can see what kind of jobs you can get today. Moreover, a lot of students are looking for part-time research positions or a job at your college specifically. And I can't stress enough the importance of going through these monthly mails that you get. Those emails cover everything. They cover a lot of information about professors on campus who are looking for students or teaching assistant positions or any other sort of positions that need to be filled for the next semester. Overall, though, I think working on campus is actually a super productive use of your time. And I definitely recommend looking at some of those options. It doesn't have to start right at your first year, but it will help you find a community on campus, and it'll give you a very realistic insight into what the hiring process looks like in the US. I really hope that you guys enjoy your time at the UMN and have a great time with any on-campus employment endeavors. And I'm going to pass it on to Sonali now to speak about her experiences next.
Thank you, Wish, and hello, welcome everyone. I am Sonali Raghinath. I'm a third year PhD candidate in food science from CFANS. I'm currently serving as a Culture Core graduate consultant. Today, I would like to share information for graduate students, especially about student employment. And there are different opportunities available for graduate students. Some have research assistantship or teaching assistantship within your department, or sometimes even outside your departments. But it's also important to know that there are other opportunities other than RAs or TAs. Always check your emails from your department or GPCs. They do send out a lot of emails regarding any employment opportunities that come by their way. Just a word of caution, just be careful and first figure out with ISSS on how to get your OPT or CPT before being employed anywhere. Situations can be different with different type of visas, so please do clarify any permission from ISSS or from your employer so that you don't land up in trouble later. And look at something short or long-term depending on your availability to work. And also check out Handshakes, Maroon and Gold Network, as well as the HR. We'll be sharing the links in the chat. And lastly, just be proactive, seek outside resources as much as you can, look into LinkedIn, Indeed, and other career websites. A lot of people I know have landed up in jobs, internship, just by approaching people in LinkedIn, including me as an example. So there are lots of opportunities within the university, including a lot of volunteer opportunities as well. So just pick the right ones and the appropriate ones that are available and just use every opportunity in a way to gain your experience. So have a great time and enjoy all the opportunities that come along the way. Back to you, Nita.
Thank you very much, Viswas and Sonali, for sharing your student employment at U. Well, again, the opportunities are not only limited on that, but then now we're talking about resume. We're not going to tell you like specifically on how to create a resume in depth, like technically, but what I really want to share at this slide is that how you can see the difference between the education and related experiences. Education is very important because it helps the employers to know your academic background and where you graduate from. But then related experiences, you can fill it up more than 5, I think, as long as those are related. And it's very important because it will help employers to know that you have the competency that they're looking for or not. For example, you graduated from mathematics, but then there's an employer looking for a banker, which you actually don't have that educational background, but then you have worked in banking for a couple of years, which means that you have the competencies and your application can still be considered, you know. So that's the importance of creating a resume with so many related experiences. I would say not so many, I mean, but then at least you have 2, 3, or probably more than that, as long as those are those experiences are related. But then for education, you can only probably put 1 to 2. That's the maximum normally. Yeah. Next, please. So we actually at the University of Minnesota, I really like this platform, honestly, because it will help students to find on-campus student employment opportunities. So if you are willing, if you are planning to work as a part-timer at the U, there's an internal job portal created by the University of Minnesota and given to the students. So if you are willing to if you want to look for a TA or RA opportunities or peer advisor, you can find it through the web. It's called humanresources.umn.edu/jobs. You can also check it out on the chat if you wanted to. And you can filter as well the major, the program, and some other information that are related to what you're looking for. And then it will show up, it will display the job that you are looking for. And again, it's only on campus. So if you're willing to find off-campus opportunities, you can try to use other resources. So that's all. I will pass it over to Jane again. Jane.
Thank you, Mifta. Yes, we spend so much time recommending student employment because as you get started building your resume, and if your paycheck is coming from the University of Minnesota, you don't need to apply for work authorization. So on campus, student employment is a great place to start to gain really unique experiences and build that section of your resume. But as we also look to, finding internships and jobs off campus, we're wondering, what do you think about what do many top sources believe to be the #1 way to get a job in the US? And I've also heard from many of our alumni, this is important in their countries too. Do you think it's a perfect resume, an impressive interview, knowledge of computer programming, a 4.0 GPA, or networking? Well, we can tell you that it is networking. So let's talk a little bit more about networking on the next slide. There will be many events and opportunities on campus for you to connect with alumni, local professionals, other students, faculty. So there are ways to do this, in person when it is safe to do so. But there are also ways to do this online that you can get started sooner if you would like to. So we have LinkedIn, which you might have heard of. LinkedIn is a professional social media network where you can create your own profile and reach out to connections around the world. If you get started building a profile and then connect with your career services or find us at another event during the year, there are opportunities to go deeper and learn more about what this tool can do to help you in your career development. There are ways to search for opportunities by country, to connect to UMN alumni by country, which are really cool. So we would love to teach you about that during the school year. But there's another site as well that you should look into and try to make a profile if you can. It is called the Maroon and Gold Network, which is on the bottom left-hand corner there. That's what the home screen looks like. This is almost like a LinkedIn, but just for the University of Minnesota community. So everyone who joins this site is looking to connect with other students and help students in their careers. You can also bring this to your career services as a question to learn more, and they can teach you more about how to use this. But it also has great filtering options to find other alumni in different countries, different majors, different cities across the US. So we highly recommend both of these tools. And the next slide. Finally, we just want to use this as a reminder that if you are hoping to work in a job or internship off campus in the United States, that you really need to know your work authorization. You need to become an expert in your work authorization. And ISSS is absolutely there to support you as you figure these things out. You are not alone, and many UMN students work off campus in Minnesota and around the US in really exciting opportunities. And they're able to secure those opportunities by doing everything that we just mentioned, gaining experience, building connections, and becoming experts in their work authorization options. So I recommend, when you have time to relax and dive in and learn more about these things, go to the ISSS website and read everything you can about if you're an F1 student, CPT, and OPT. And if you're a J1 student, academic training. ISSS is there to help you understand these things and become an expert. So with that, we can go to the next slide. We have various helpful ways that you can stay connected with us and keep learning about and gathering career information to help you be prepared to get opportunities while you're still a student and to secure that opportunity for after you graduate. We have a specific career website just for international students. That is the career.umn.edu/international-students. There we have so much helpful information if you're interested in a career in the US or outside of the US. So please check that out and save it to look at, once you're here in fall semester and going forward. We also have mentioned a website called Handshake. Handshake is our internship and job opportunities platform that is just for University of Minnesota students. There we have thousands of career opportunities and some really helpful filtering options that you can see what opportunities employers have explicitly put out there that international students can apply for. We also have company information sessions from organizations around the world, so you can learn more about their internship programs and career opportunities. Career services offices will also post events in Handshake, and you will also find and be able to sign up for career fairs in Handshake. Coming this fall, we will have both in-person and online career fair opportunities. So definitely scan that QR code or follow that link to start making a profile in Handshake. And finally, to the far right side, we hope you will follow us on Instagram. ISSS gave a shout out to us yesterday, and we got a bunch of new followers. So we're really excited to see you there on the Instagram page. We've had this page for just over a year, and I've heard many students say that they feel it's a great place to get information about upcoming career opportunities, events on campus, unique student jobs, and to stay the most updated. So please become our friend on Instagram. We hope to see you there. And that is all for our resources, I believe. I'm passing it over to Yuting.
Thank you, Jane. So talking about networking, then how to stay connected with SSS. Actually, there are many ways to stay connected with SSS as a new international student, including the new student website in SSS at www.issumn.edu/new and our Global Gopher Experience website. You can also contact us at ssnew@umn.edu via email, and an SSS staff member will respond to you very soon. As an international student, it is never wrong to ask and connect with SSS because we have so many resources. So again, welcome to our Global Gopher family. Make sure you also follow us on our social media channel. Next, we will start the Q&A portion. So for Q&A session, we will go over the question you submit, or if you have any question, feel free to submit your question now. Our guest speaker, Jane and Miftah, and SS staff member, Emily, will answer your question during this session. Feel free to type your question in the chat box during this Q&A session. Also, feel free to open your mic and directly speak out your question. That works as well.
So while people get started asking their questions, maybe we can ask our own, just to like get the ball rolling. Let's see, Jane, how would you help students find an internship on campus? What would their first sort of steps be?
I think you might want to explore the different kinds of opportunities that are out there. And right now, as school is getting started again, many opportunities are getting posted. So checking out that HR website that we have shared, and also now that we have recently started using the software Handshake. Many student opportunities are also posted on handshake.umn.edu. There's a special filtering option on Handshake that is a checkbox that says on campus. So that's how you can sort of see, what are these opportunities that are on campus in Handshake, because that website does have job opportunities around the world. I would also recommend that it is okay to, very rarely do people start working on campus as soon as they arrive. So definitely take your time and see what's out there. Talk to other classmates, talk to, orientation leaders or global Gopher leaders once you meet them on campus, and ask them, like, what other things do you do, or options have you seen on campus? Use the knowledge of the people around you to, and that's networking. And it's a really easy, fun way to start networking with amazing global Gopher leaders like we see here, to ask a friendly face for information, which will help you to find the opportunity that's best for you.
Thank you, Jane. I think we do have a question from one of the participants, so I can go ahead and read that for you. So I would like to get some advice on how to narrow down your career path. There have been a lot of information to find a career path, so I want to know.
Yeah, that's an amazing question. Thank you, Sunmin. I would recommend, after you've adjusted to campus life, visiting your career services office. You can make an appointment online now for most of our career services offices, and you can share your question just as you've shared, how do I narrow down your career path? When you meet with a career counselor, they'll probably give you some different options of some tools that might help you. Like we briefly mentioned, career counselors have a lot of different quizzes and surveys, like real short format, that are all about you. So there's no wrong answer. You can explore and say, like, this is what I like most, or this is what I want to learn. And those kinds of quizzes and assessments, when you're done with them, will give you results and show you, these are your strengths. These are some potential good jobs that the quiz thinks that might be good for you. And as you read through those results, you might think, maybe I want to explore that, or no, that really doesn't seem like me. So that can be helpful for you. We also have a tool that I'll try to find the link to once I'm done answering this question, or maybe one of our amazing global Gopher leaders can find it. It's at the U, it's called the Wicked Whammy, which stands for what can I do with a major in. So there's websites that maybe Emily has seen this before, actually, where with them, it sorts by major potential jobs that graduates have from UMN have reported that they've done. So that might be helpful to you as well. Finally, I would just encourage that, while you're a University of Minnesota student, you'll see a lot of different events pop up with alumni who have taken different careers, and you might want to attend those events to hear from them and hear their perspective. And then you can think, oh, I really love what they're saying, I want to do that career, or, oh, I really can't see myself doing that career. I'm sure many of us in this room have also tried something and we've realized, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Personally, I did an internship and I realized, yeah, that's not my career path. So sometimes we need to try things out to know that that is not what we want to do. So I hope these are a lot of different ways that can help you narrow that down. And also, by following Instagram, connecting with ISSS, you will see, starting from fall, a lot of opportunities to join in those events where you can connect with alumni. And I think that might be a good place to start too. And I think that relates to our next question.
Yeah, it perfectly links to our next question, which is how can we connect with alumni who are currently working in the field that we plan to go to. Apart from LinkedIn, or are there any other websites or global UMN alumni events that are organized to facilitate this networking? Emily, could you maybe give your insights on what alumni networks are available?
So actually, I think I might pass this one over to Jane because she has a lot of knowledge in the alumni network, especially for international alumni networks. So I'm actually going to pass it back to Jane.
Thank you, Emily. Yes, like we mentioned, there's LinkedIn and the Maroon and Gold Network. So you'll want to check those two out. When you're on LinkedIn, I will try to describe this as a quick tool, but know that you can find us on campus, and any career services person can also share this with you. If you have a LinkedIn profile, in the search bar, you can type University of Minnesota, and it should pop up and say University of Minnesota School, and you click that. And then on that site, you can see all alumni on LinkedIn who have indicated that they're connected to University of Minnesota. And then you can start filtering by major, company, country. So it's a great tool for connecting with alumni. However, like I was just talking about, to Sunman's question, there are dozens of alumni events every year on campus or in virtual formats. Some will be hosted by your college. So as our student leaders have shared, paying attention to email can help you in a lot of ways. And that one of those ways can be finding out, what are those opportunities to connect with companies and alumni who are coming to campus. Some might be hosted by the University of Minnesota Alumni Association. I'm not sure if someone could help by dropping that link into the chat. So that's another place to sign up for their emails or alerts to see what events that they are organizing. And others might happen through student groups. So there are a lot of professional student groups on campus who bring alumni in a couple times a year. Also, sometimes cultural student groups as well. So by getting involved with student groups, as we recommended in this session, to build your resume by gaining those soft skills, you can also build connections. I also host a lot of events, which you can find out through the ISSS weekly update or our Instagram page. So by paying attention there, you will see more alumni events as well. I think, yes, that is all I would respond to that question.
Thank you, Jane. I think we'll still keep the ball rolling. We still have some time for questions, and students, please don't feel shy. Just type in your questions. Oh, there, we have another one. Okay. I have heard that getting an internship by the second year is a must, especially if you're interested in medicine school. What are your thoughts on that? I think this one will also go to Jane.
Sure. I think it would be important that once you arrive to campus and kind of adjust in the first couple weeks, you probably want to make appointments with an academic advisor, or we have specific pre-health career counselors. So I'm going to type that. So if you type in UMN pre-health or pre-health career counseling, there are specific career services that help students who are interested in health careers after finishing undergraduate. So I would ask this question to those resources on campus. I think also we could help to connect with other international students who have gone on to health graduate school and health related careers, and you could talk with those folks as well. It is, as Mifta was sharing during the presentation, it is really important to be showing employers or future graduate school applications that you are actively working on gaining experience. So whether that's a specific type of internship by your second year, or demonstrating to employers you work in a lab. On the UMN campus, we have a lot of medical related offices. So I know students who work at like the Children's Hospital, work or volunteer at the Children's Hospital, at the Surgery Center. There will be tons of student employment opportunities, research opportunities. So using all the resources that we mentioned and keeping an active lookout for those and applying for those will look really impressive to future applications and employers. I hope that helps.
I might jump
Yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, this is, I think, a question for you, Emily. There was a question in chat asking if they need an EAD to work for paid positions on campus, or can they find an off-campus job during their first year in the US? The student asking is an F1 student.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for asking the question. So for F1 students, on-campus work is allowed as long as you're maintaining your status. So you won't need to seek out specific authorization, meaning that you don't need an EAD card to work on campus. On campus is defined as any position where it is the University of Minnesota that pays you for your work. But a lot of students, as you've been mentioning in the chat, are interested in taking internships off campus during their time here. Something to keep in mind is that you won't be eligible to do that for your first 2 semesters. But once you've got those first 2 semesters here in the US, you are welcome to apply for what is called CPT, or Curricular Practical Training. That will allow you to work in off-campus positions, meaning that the payment comes from an entity other than University of Minnesota. Now, that's not something you need to worry about right now because you won't be eligible until summer. But please know that we have a ton of resources at the University of Minnesota ISSS office about CPT and how to get authorization to work off campus. The thing that you mostly need to know right now is that in order to be off campus, you need that authorization, but ISSS is here to help you not only get the authorization, but understand it, as well as talk to employers about the authorization. So we are also a resource, in addition to Jane, about everything relating around your career development here at the university. And when you eventually graduate, we're happy to help you with authorization after you complete your degree. So thank you for that question. And I'll pass it back to V.
Thank you, Emily. And I think we do have another question related to internships. So when you apply for internships, do you apply for multiple internships at the same time? If so, how many?
Yes, I don't think there is a specific number to don't apply for this number or something like that. However, you definitely want to stay organized as you're applying for different things. Many of our alumni or senior students have told me that they make spreadsheets and they write down the name of the job they applied for, try to save some of the position description and the date that they submitted their application. Sometimes you might get multiple offers from many people who want to work with you, and it's important to, choose the one that you like and then reply, promptly and very politely to the one that you don't want, to communicate clearly and directly with them as to not confuse employers. But it's definitely okay to apply for multiple and just keep track of your applications, how you're communicating with them, and as soon as employers reach out to say, like, I really want to work with you, respond to them as soon as you can, and reject the ones that you don't want.
I think, yeah, we have time for a couple more questions. So I'm going to ask another question that was asked in chat. What are some of the ways to break into a particular industry or a function without any prior experience? I believe Emily can answer this, so I'm going to direct it to her.
So the biggest resource that you're going to have when you're thinking about what are the different areas that I'm interested here at the U, the best resource is going to be the different career counselors that are in your specific college to help you figure out what are the different areas that I'm interested in, as well as what are the potential job opportunities that I might have while I'm a student to pursue this. The students that I've been working with as of late have really been getting a lot of value out of working with their career counselors to figure out what is their ideal career path. But I do want to tag Jane to see if she has any other recommendations for other resources.
Yes, and someone I'm also thinking about is Yuting, because I know that Yuting has jumped into a lot of experiences during her time as a student. I think ways to break into industry, as we've been talking about, look out for those professional related student organizations or opportunities to try a bit of volunteering. And also student employment is a great way to break into industries. As far as volunteering, we have a resource that is I'm going to try to remember what it stands for, Center for Community Engaged Learning. Yes. That website, the university has connections to hundreds of different places where you can volunteer. That could be education related, animal related, supporting food and nutrition. Volunteering is not just limited to a few things. There could be a lot of different opportunities to get out in the community and learn more. But I want to pass it to you, Ting, if we still have some time, because you started working in some labs, and I think that would be a really relevant experience to share.
Sure, thank you, Jane. So because my major is JCD, which stands for Genetic Cell Biology and Development. So starting from like sophomore year, I started to volunteer in a lab. So how I connect to the lab, which I just sent email to the professor asking like, can I get into your lab? Before sending the email, I read several papers from that lab. I'm interested in like which direction. So can I volunteer in your lab? And the professor said yes, and I passed the interview. Then I got into the lab. Though most of the lab don't need interview, so don't be frustrated about that. So from my end, just try to reach out more people. Also go to the expert.umn.edu. You can find all the professors or departments or the expert at umn.edu or at UMN. So you can find your preferred direction. Then just send them an email and ask for any opportunity that you have. Also, you can connect to the professor of your course to see if they can give you any opportunity from their network. Yeah, back to you, Jane.
Yes, and I think it looks like there's another question related to applying for research. I think, yes, go ahead, sorry.
I think there are a couple of questions, Jane, almost related to the same thing. Maybe we can all club an answer to that question. I know people are asking about EADs and their eligibility criteria, and I know Emily already touched on that portion. And there are some questions about like how about like work, study, jobs, and what's the best time to apply for research?
I would defer EAD questions to Emily. But as far as work study, I think usually those opportunities are for US students using the FAFSA. It might depend on the opportunity, so you could reach out to the unit and ask. But if it says something like work study only, I might apply to other positions before that. But over to you, Emily.
I agree with that. Yes. So typically international students do not qualify for work study positions that only accept work study, but do pay attention to the job description because sometimes it'll say work study eligible. So definitely, as Jane said, reach out to the employer to see if they'd be willing to hire a non-work study position. Now for EAD cards, I did see the question about co-ops. When you are applying for an off-campus opportunity, meaning an internship, a co-op, or a required work experience during your degree, you actually will not need an EAD card if you're applying for CPT. What you will get is a line on your I-20 that says that you are authorized to work in a specific role. So I would recommend, if you have questions, I put a link in the chat for applying for CPT, as well as more information around CPT. And then was there a question that I missed? I do see a question about a visa interview. If you have a question about that, please reach out to issssnew@umn.edu and we'd be happy to work you through that. I think we've only got about a minute left.
Yes, and I do not see any questions. But yeah, I think it has been a great session, and thank you for everyone who actually asked questions, and thank you for keeping it more interactive for us as well, so that we can share a lot more with you. And just a quick closing. We just have our final reminder for our next session, which will be in 2 weeks later at the same time. So 8 to 9 a.m. Central Time, August 10th. The topic is Meet Your College Fellows. So use the link that will be on the chat to register if you haven't done already. But that's all for today. And thank you all for joining us today. And we'll all see you in 2 weeks. Bye, everyone.
I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it. I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up, no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. You're more like the way we rock it, so don't stop. And under the lights when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel good, good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. Come on. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. I can't stop the feeling. So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, 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 come on. Ooh.
All right, I think we're going to end the video early, and thank you all so much for joining. If you have more questions, please reach out to us at issssnew@umn.edu, and we're happy to help you. Otherwise, thank you so much for coming today. You are welcome to leave the meeting now, and we'll be ending our webinar soon.
Well, for the recording will show up on our website in this or next week. So you can go to our website or follow us on the YouTube channel. The recording will be uploaded to our YouTube channel probably by tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. Yes, thank you, V.
All right. Thank you all so much. Leaders, I'm going to rejoin this meeting in a moment.
Hi, I'm gonna end this meeting now.